This is a 200-page book, and you're going to learn every key takeaway and actionable insight in just a few minutes without all the fluff. The 50th Law is a powerful guide to achieving fearlessness, blending 50 Cent's real-life experiences with Robert Greene's timeless strategies to help you face challenges, embrace boldness, and take control of your destiny. Let's have a productive life. Chapter 1. See things for what they are. Intense realism. The authors emphasize the importance of seeing the world as it is, without illusions, biases, or wishful thinking. This concept, called intense realism, is all about stripping away denial and embracing life's harsh truths. 50 Cent, who grew up in the tough streets of Southside Queens, learned this lesson early. In a place where survival depended on sharp instincts, illusions were dangerous, and avoidance of reality could mean death. 50 describes reality as his drug, saying, "The more I have of it, the more power I get, and the higher I feel." This reflects the empowerment that comes from fully understanding your situation, no matter how difficult it is. Another key insight from this chapter is that fear pushes people away from reality. As Greene writes, "Fear will make you turn away from reality, but it is reality that will set you free." Instead of avoiding what makes us uncomfortable, intense realism demands that we face it head-on. So, what does this mean for us? 50's life teaches us that realism is not pessimism. It doesn't mean expecting the worst. It means understanding situations for what they are and acting accordingly. When you confront the truth, even if it's unpleasant, you can make smarter, bolder, and more effective decisions. To practice intense realism, start observing situations and people more objectively. For example, if you're in a tough spot at work, resist the urge to blame external forces or hide from feedback. Instead, ask yourself, what is the reality of this situation? What role do I play in it? Also, confront your fears directly. If something scares you, take it as a sign to investigate further and act. Over time, this clarity becomes a habit that builds both confidence and power. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Chapter 2. Make everything your own. Self-reliance. 50 Cent emphasizes the need to depend on yourself, not others, because relying too heavily on people creates vulnerability. When you give up control of your decisions, ideas, or career, you become subject to the whims of others. True power comes from independence. 50 Cent's life is full of examples of self-reliance. He faced betrayal and disappointment from people he trusted, from managers in the music industry to friends on the streets. Rather than letting these experiences defeat him, he used them as lessons. He chose to take control of his future by creating his own opportunities and trusting his instincts. One of the key quotes from this chapter drives the point home. When you work for others, you are at their mercy. They own your work. They own you. Independence, on the other hand, puts you in charge of your life. What does this look like for us? Self-reliance means cultivating a mindset of ownership. You own your successes, your failures, and your learning process. It starts with identifying where you rely on others too much. For example, do you depend on someone else to motivate you, to solve your problems, or to give you opportunities? Instead, take initiative. Build your own skills so you can provide value to any situation. As Greene puts it, it's better to be alone than in bad company. By relying on yourself, you remove the risk of being controlled or let down. A simple way to implement this is to work on becoming indispensable in your field. Learn new skills, master your craft, and solve problems on your own. Take ownership of everything you do and learn from every experience. Chapter 3. Turn shit into sugar. Opportunism. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and failures, but within every difficult situation lies an opportunity, if you're willing to look for it. 50 Cent mastered this mindset by refusing to let bad circumstances define him. Instead of being weighed down by adversity, he turned it into fuel for his growth. One of the most powerful ideas in this chapter is the importance of persistence. As 50 says, what makes people stand out is not their good luck, but their persistence in seizing the moment. Challenges, instead of being roadblocks, become tools for growth. For example, when 50 was dropped by his record label early in his career, he didn't let it stop him. He used the setback to reinvent himself, creating his mixtapes and building a loyal fan base, eventually becoming an unstoppable force in the music industry. This chapter is a reminder that challenges are inevitable. Life won't go according to plan, but you have a choice. You can focus on the problem and feel defeated, or you can look for a way to turn the situation into something better. An opportunistic mindset means staying flexible, creative, and open-minded, especially when times are tough. Here's how you can adopt this mindset. When you encounter setbacks, train yourself to ask, what's the opportunity here? What can I learn? How can I use this to my advantage? Instead of complaining or blaming others, look for solutions. If something doesn't work out, pivot and try a different approach. This habit of seeing possibilities where others see problems will set you apart and propel you forward. Chapter 4. Keep moving. Calculated momentum. Momentum is a force that carries us forward, and in Chapter 4, the 50th law highlights how essential it is for achieving success. The authors explain that stagnation breeds fear and uncertainty, while movement creates opportunities, confidence, and clarity. Staying active, physically, mentally, and creatively, is key to progress, especially when times are uncertain. 50 Cent embraced this mindset early in his career, consistently working toward his goals, adapting to change, and never allowing himself to become stuck. One of the most memorable lines from this chapter states, "By staying in motion, you increase your chances of success and keep your mind focused." Another reminds us that action must flow like a river. Your actions have to flow like a river. Keep moving, keep adapting. These quotes emphasize that movement isn't just about being busy, it's about calculated action. It's about taking risks, learning from mistakes, and constantly refining your approach as you go. 50 Cent's life reflects this principle. In the music industry, the moment he saw an opportunity, he acted on it. He didn't wait for a perfect plan or for someone else to guide him. He stayed busy, producing mixtapes, connecting with his audience, and keeping momentum when others hesitated. This is what allowed him to rise while others stagnated. For us, the lesson is clear. Action combats fear and builds confidence. If you overthink or hesitate, you give room for doubt and fear to take over. Instead, take small, deliberate steps every day. For example, if you're launching a new project or developing a skill, break it into manageable actions and tackle one piece at a time. Progress fuels more progress, and before you know it, you'll build momentum. When uncertainty arises, prioritize action over analysis paralysis, and remind yourself that forward movement, however small, always leads to growth. Chapter 5. Know when to be bad. Aggression. Greene and 50 Cent introduce a somewhat controversial but powerful principle, knowing when to use aggression. Life will sometimes demand that we push back, defend ourselves, or assert dominance. The authors stress that this doesn't mean being reckless or hostile. Instead, they focus on controlled aggression, using assertiveness as a strategic tool. 50 Cent mastered this skill by understanding that being bad at the right moment can help you overcome obstacles, gain respect, and achieve your objectives. A critical takeaway from this chapter is summarized in the quote, "Aggression is a powerful tool, but it must be used strategically, not recklessly." 50 learned that power isn't just about being nice or playing fair. Sometimes you have to take decisive action to protect your position. As the authors write, to win, you have to be willing to be bad when it is necessary. 50 Cent's rise to fame is full of examples of this principle. Whether dealing with rivals on the streets or opponents in the music industry, he knew how to strike back when someone tested him. But he always did so thoughtfully and with calculation. Aggression wasn't about lashing out blindly. It was about making a statement and maintaining control. This concept can apply to us in everyday life, especially when it comes to defending ourselves or standing up for what we deserve. If you're being overlooked at work or disrespected in a relationship, assertiveness might be necessary. The key is balance. You don't have to be overly aggressive, but you can't always be passive either. Ask yourself, what situation requires me to push back? How can I do this in a composed but firm way? Practice standing your ground with controlled confidence, and remember that sometimes taking a stronger stance earns you the respect and authority you need to succeed. Chapter 6. Lead from the front. Authority. True authority doesn't come from barking orders or delegating from the sidelines. It comes from being visible, taking risks, and showing others what's possible through your actions. 50 Cent embodied this principle in his career, both during his hustling days in Queens and later in the music business. People followed him because they trusted his ability to act boldly and handle challenges head-on. A key idea here is captured in the quote, "By showing up and being visible, you give the impression of control and confidence." Greene and 50 emphasize that visibility matters. When you're present and involved, people naturally respect and follow you. Another line sums up the essence of leadership perfectly. Lead from the front, and people will naturally follow. Authority comes from demonstrating that you're willing to do the hard work yourself, not just telling others what to do. One example from 50's life that illustrates this principle is how he built his credibility in the music industry. He didn't wait for others to pave the way. He made mixtapes, promoted his work, and stayed in control of his brand. By taking the lead, he earned respect and inspired loyalty. People saw him as someone they could trust because he was actively involved, pushing forward even when challenges arose. For us, leading from the front can mean stepping up in a group project, solving problems instead of pointing fingers, or showing your team that you're willing to work as hard as they are. If you're in a leadership role, don't hide behind titles or distance yourself from challenges. Be visible, take initiative, and show confidence through your actions. When you demonstrate commitment and fearlessness, others will naturally follow your lead. A simple, actionable insight to take away is this. When faced with a tough situation, ask yourself, how can I take the lead here? How can I show others what's possible through my actions? By consistently stepping up and being visible, you'll inspire respect, build authority, and set the tone for success. Chapter 7. Know your environment from the inside out. Connection. The authors argue that success requires more than just talent or effort. It demands awareness and adaptability. You must study the world you're in, observe its dynamics, and immerse yourself fully in its landscape. For 50 Cent, this meant knowing two very different environments, the streets of Southside Queens and the music industry. By mastering the nuances of both, he gained the ability to predict trends, spot opportunities, and avoid pitfalls that others missed. 50's philosophy can be summed up in the line, "The time you spend understanding the terrain will save you years of wasted effort." Imagine you're entering a new industry or business. If you jump in without studying its patterns or key players, you're bound to stumble. But if you take the time to immerse yourself, learn the culture, and connect with those who know the field, you gain a significant edge. Another powerful quote reinforces this. To master a world, you must first immerse yourself in it completely. This isn't surface-level understanding, it's about going deep and seeing what others don't. 50's strategy was clear. He didn't just observe the music industry from the sidelines, he became part of it, learning the mechanics of record deals, understanding the audience, and connecting with key figures who could help him. By doing so, he transformed obstacles into opportunities and positioned himself for long-term success. For us, the lesson is this. Take time to study your environment thoroughly. Whether it's a new job, a competitive industry, or a challenging situation, the more you know, the better you can anticipate changes and adapt. Build meaningful relationships with people who can provide different perspectives. They'll help you see the landscape more clearly. And finally, stay flexible. As you learn more, be ready to adjust your strategies to stay ahead. By connecting deeply with your environment, you'll give yourself a competitive edge that sets you apart. Chapter 8. Respect the process. Mastery. True mastery doesn't happen overnight. It requires dedication, patience, and an unwavering commitment to growth. 50 Cent embraced this philosophy wholeheartedly, seeing every setback as a lesson and every challenge as a chance to improve. He knew that if he focused on mastering the process of learning and evolving, success would come naturally. The authors state, "The process is everything. If you master it, success will follow naturally." This quote captures a crucial mindset shift. Instead of obsessing over quick wins or rewards, fall in love with the work itself. Whether you're building a business, learning a new skill, or pursuing a creative goal, it's the consistency and effort you put in daily that matter most. Another line reinforces this. You must fall in love with the work, not the reward. 50 Cent's career reflects this dedication to the process. Early in his music career, he faced rejection, setbacks, and even life-threatening challenges. Instead of giving up, He used each experience to get better. He practiced relentlessly, adapted to changing circumstances, and never lost sight of the bigger picture. This focus on the process laid the foundation for his success, enabling him to thrive where others faltered. So, what can we take from this? Mastery is about persistence and consistency over time. You must embrace challenges and setbacks as opportunities to grow, not as signs of failure. If you're learning a new skill, commit to small, steady improvements every day, and don't let frustration derail you. Focus on the work itself, on building your craft, rather than constantly chasing results. When you respect the process and commit to continuous learning, you'll not only achieve your goals, but build the resilience to sustain success long term. Chapter 9. Push beyond your limits. Self-belief. Confidence in yourself and your abilities gives you the power to face challenges, take risks, and push beyond what others think is possible. 50 Cent exemplifies this mindset. Growing up in an environment that tested him at every turn, he learned to believe in his potential even when others doubted him. This belief gave him the courage to pursue greatness, no matter the odds. The authors share a powerful truth. The greatest limits are the ones we place on ourselves. Think about that for a moment. Often, it's not external challenges that hold us back. It's our own self-doubt and hesitation. Another key quote drives this home. You have to believe in yourself before anyone else can. 50 understood that self-belief is not something others give you. It's something you cultivate within yourself. For 50, this mindset was essential. Early in his career, he was told he wouldn't make it after being dropped by his record label. Instead of accepting that limitation, he doubled down on his confidence and created his mixtapes, which eventually launched his career. This ability to push past perceived limits is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. For us, the takeaway is clear. Identify the limitations you've placed on yourself and challenge them. Ask yourself, what do I believe I can't do, and why do I believe that? Often those limitations are based on fear, past failures, or the opinions of others. Start building self-confidence by taking small, calculated risks that push you outside your comfort zone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and encourage your growth, but most importantly, learn to trust yourself. With self-belief, you'll find the courage to take bold steps, break through barriers, and turn your biggest visions into reality. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Chapter 10. Confront your mortality, the sublime. The authors explain that acknowledging the reality of death can unlock a powerful sense of purpose and urgency. 50 Cent's life-changing moment came when he was shot 9 times at close range, a near-death experience that gave him a profound appreciation for life. Instead of sinking into despair, he used that moment to clarify his purpose and eliminate hesitation. He says, "When the fear of death is gone, nothing can bother you, and nobody can stop you." This chapter teaches us that when you face the inevitability of death, your perspective on life shifts. Small fears and trivial distractions fall away, and you start to see what truly matters. Another quote reinforces this idea. Life is short. Wasting even a second is a crime. Imagine how many moments are wasted hesitating, doubting yourself, or worrying about what others think. 50 Cent decided not to let time slip by, using every day to take bold action toward his goals. For us, the lesson is simple but profound. Take time to reflect on your mortality, not to dwell on death, but to gain perspective on how you're living. Ask yourself, what would I do differently if I knew my time was limited? Use this awareness to push past hesitation and fear. Take that risk, make that decision, or start that project you've been putting off. Life's impermanence is not something to fear. It's something that frees you to live with boldness, clarity, and intention. By embracing mortality, as 50 did, you give yourself permission to focus on the meaningful and let go of what doesn't serve you. Make the commitment to live fully, and remember, every second counts. Don't waste it on fear or doubt. Take action now. The 50th law teaches that fear is the greatest barrier to success, but by confronting it head-on, you unlock limitless potential. Through lessons of realism, self-reliance, adaptability, and bold action, this book offers practical tools to navigate life's challenges with confidence and purpose. 50 Cent's story reminds us that the most successful people turn adversity into strength and approach life with unshakable determination. By applying these principles, you can free yourself from hesitation, live boldly, and create a life of impact and meaning.